All right, everyone, welcome back to Mac Street Garage. Today, about 72 degrees, about a 15-20 mile an hour wind blowing. I had set my camera up to video my taking off all of these parts up on the dash so I can get this tub off, but the wind kept blowing the camera over. So I'm just going to have to do this one section at a time. So let's get busy. You see what I'm going to do. This, that, all that's going to be taken care of so I can get this tub up off the frame. So stand by. I'll be back in just a moment. Now, as I get started, of course, all of these bolts are rusted. I did spray them before to loosen them up, but it doesn't seem to be working. So time to break out the old vice grips and see what I can do to get this off. Stand by, working a little bit at a time. All right, here we go, the very first challenge. You can see this nut right here. That is one of the old square head bolt heads. This is, what size is that? This is a 1/2 inch, and that's 7/16. Not quite sure why it's like that. But as you can see, this is not a completely square nut anymore. And come over here on the other side. Can you see that one right there? Let's see if I focus out a little bit. That one is not completely square either. And there's no way to get a grinder in there to grind that off. Not even a hacksaw. So, challenge number 1. I'm going to work on that. Stand by just a moment. All right, that was actually easier than I thought. It was actually a 1/2 inch bolt head and a 1/2 inch nut, but because these are so worn down, let me see if I can get this. Oh, there's my shade. If you can see, I get a side view. You see how worn that is. That means that's been that's been rubbing against this piece right here for so long that it's rubbed that side of the bolt head down. Now, because of these old vehicles, something that I like to do is go ahead and put the bolts and nuts back to the place where they were, because not all of these bolts that were used back in 1947 are the same measurements as they are today. They tended to be more, I don't know what the word I want to say, but they were just different. So what I'm going to do, and of course this is the anti-rattle, it looks like a seat belt that the guy or the people had taken to put on the steering column so it wouldn't rattle and shake. So I want to put all of this back together, put all these bolts back in all of these holes to make sure I have the right bolts for the right parts when I go down to my local Ace Hardware and get some good bolts to put back in. Of course, this will be cleaned up. That goes without saying. I might even have to order a new one because you can see there's a groove like something had been welded in here. I don't know, or that's just wore out. Anyway, it still is serviceable, so we'll see what happens later on once I get it cleaned up. All right, so now on to the next piece. All right, the battle of the 1947 CJ2a continues. Today I wanted to get the gauges out, disconnect all the wires and cables so I can get this tub off and get to work on the frame and the body itself. Once I put my head down here and my feet back there, shone a light up inside, all of the connectors for all of the gauges are in such bad corrosion state that it makes it impossible to do anything the way it sits now. So I just started taking things apart. Took the starter switch off. I just put one on not too long. That was actually brand new, so I can reuse that. But everything else had to be cut and or snipped. You saw I took the steering piece off, come around here. Starter relay is off. The throttle and choke cables are off. The wires to the ballast resistor are off. to the coil off, to the battery is off, and you can see that my speedometer cable is cut because the connection at the transmission made it impossible to get to, mostly because of the oil that is still leaking out, which is a good sign. It means it has oil in it. Made it near impossible to get to. So rather than covered in grease all the way up to my elbows, I decided to go ahead and cut this cable, because if I'm going to put a new speedometer in, I might as well put a new speedometer cable in as well, to save myself headaches along the way. And of course, the oil pressure sending unit is off. One other piece I need to take off is the radiator support. And then hopefully, if everything goes right, I can start jacking up the body. I'm still going to have to clear the steering column. Hopefully my girlfriend and I will be able to take care of that. So let me see if I can start jacking this thing up, supporting the tub of this machine, and then I can start working on all that mess as well. So stay tuned. I'll be back in just a little bit. See you. All right. Well, one more thing I forgot I need to do. I need to take the clutch off, the brake off, and the accelerator pedal off. Otherwise, this isn't coming off. This is trashed. This was made by the people who owned it before. You can see the weld that's right here. This is just a square piece of metal they cut. That's trash. That's trash too. So take the bolts that hold this pedal on, the bolts that hold this pedal on, and disconnect the, I think I can disconnect the piece here, and the accelerator pedal rod that's up there, because as you come around on this side, it's all right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Oh, get my hand out of the way. It's all in here. So looks like that's all been welded too. So I might have to buy this whole new piece. Oh boy, here we go. There you go, Farmer John. Let me see how I can get that taken care of. All right, after 45 minutes of fighting, I realized that there was a indent in the clutch pedal and the brake pedal. Basically what happens is the bolt comes through, goes in that indent, and then screws in the other part of the housing. This keeps the pedals from doing this, so you don't have to have a clevis pin or something in there to hold it in place. I didn't know that, and after a few bad words and whacking with a hammer, I decided to go ahead and take the bolt all the way out, and voila! One come out, two come out, no problem. This is going to have to be replaced as well, because you can see they put a little bit of weld there, because this ball was rusted. I'm going to replace that, replace the pin, just get the whole kit and get that taken care of. So now, everything is disconnected. All of the wires are disconnected, all of the cables. Hopefully, I could just lift this up and, yeah, get busy with it. So let's see what happens. See if I can do this. All right. Hey, Stefan, look. The tub is off the framework. And as you can see, as we look around, look at the frame, look at all the mounts and supports, nothing's broken, nothing's cracked, nothing's been welded over. This is a good sign. That means I just have to get the wire wheel, get all this cleaned up, get the oil all cleaned up. Could even paint the engine block and stuff while it's like this. So I am good to go. Now I knew that I could not get this tub off by myself. And I was smart enough to take tape and put over top of the threads at the top of the steering column. I tried to do it myself, but I didn't really feel like getting another hernia. So I got on my interstellar communication device and I contacted my Mandalorian friend, Bo-Katan Kree. She flew in as quick as she could. I think she even flew faster than Millennium Falcon through the Maelstrom. But she came, she grabbed a hold of that side, I grabbed a hold of this side, we picked up, we moved it off. So Bo-Katan, thank you very much. You can go back to doing what you're doing. When you see Mando and Grogu, tell them I said hello. But that's all for now, folks. I'm just going to work on getting this set up on some sawhorses. She has to get back to her side of the galaxy. So remember, be good to yourselves, Be nice to each other. And if the women don't find you handsome, at least may they find you handy. Take care. Bye for now.